Once upon a time, a Chinese philosopher fell asleep and dreamed he was a butterfly. When he woke up, he asked a question that has puzzled minds for over 2,000 years. Am I a man who dreamed I was a butterfly? Or am I a butterfly dreaming I am a man? This is the story of Zhuangzi, the butterfly philosopher, a man who taught through paradox, spoke in riddles, and saw the universe as one vast, mysterious dance where nothing is quite what it seems. Tonight, as you prepare for sleep and dreams, we explore his most famous parable and the profound wisdom hidden within it. Let your mind soften. Let certainty dissolve. Let us enter the dream. Zhuangzi lived in China around 369 BCE, during a time called the Warring States period, the chaotic era when kingdoms fought for power and philosophers competed for the attention of rulers. While other philosophers, like Confucius, taught strict moral codes and proper conduct, while strategists taught the art of war, Zhuangzi took a different path. He refused all offers of government positions. When a king sent messengers offering him the role of prime minister, Zhuangzi was fishing by a river. He didn't even look up. I have heard, he said, that in your capital there is a sacred tortoise, dead for 3,000 years, kept in the bamboo box in your temple. Yes, the messengers replied, confused. Tell me, Zhuangzi continued, would that tortoise prefer to be dead and have its bones venerated, or would it prefer to be alive, dragging its tail in the mud? The live, of course, they answered. Zhuangzi smiled and went back to fishing. Then leave me alone. I prefer to drag my tail in the mud. This was Zhuangzi, a man who chose freedom over status, wildness over civilization, mystery over certainty. He wrote in stories, parables, and fantastical dialogues. He spoke of enormous fish that transformed into giant birds. He described conversations between a turtle and a well frog. He made the absurd seem profound, and the profound seem absurd. His writings, collected in the book called the Zhuangzi, are unlike anything else in philosophy. Part wisdom, part poetry, part cosmic joke. And at the heart of his teaching was one simple truth. We don't know as much as we think we know. Reality is far stranger, far more fluid, far more mysterious than our rigid concepts allow. To illustrate this, he told the story of his dream. One afternoon, Zhuangzi was resting in his garden. The day was warm. Flowers swayed in the breeze. His eyes grew heavy. He drifted into sleep. And in his sleep, he dreamed. In the dream, he was no longer Zhuangzi. He was not a philosopher. He was not even human. He was a butterfly, a beautiful butterfly, fluttering from flower to flower, drinking nectar, riding the wind. He had delicate wings that caught the sunlight. He danced through the air without effort, without thought, without purpose. He was completely, utterly, joyfully a butterfly. He didn't remember being Zhuangzi. He had no human memories, no philosophical concerns, no books to write. There was only this, the sensation of flight, the sweetness of flowers, the freedom of the open sky. He was happy, not the complicated happiness of human achievement, but the simple, pure happiness of being exactly what he was, doing exactly what he was meant to do. Time passed, or perhaps no time passed at all. In dreams, time is strange. And then, Suddenly, he woke up. He was lying in his garden. The sun had moved across the sky. He was Zhuangzi again, human, bearded, wearing robes, sitting on solid ground. The butterfly was gone. Or was it? Zhuangzi sat very still, and slowly, a question arose in his mind. A question that changed everything. Just now, I dreamed I was a butterfly. I was happy being a butterfly. I didn't know I was Zhuangzi. But now I have woken up, and I am Zhuangzi again. So which is real? Am I Zhuangzi who dreamed he was a butterfly? Or am I a butterfly now dreaming that I am Zhuangzi? He looked at his hands. They seemed real. He felt the ground beneath him. It seemed solid. But hadn't the butterfly seemed just as real? Hadn't those wings felt just as solid? Hadn't that existence been just as vivid and complete? How do I know, he thought, that I'm not still dreaming? How do I know that this life as Zhuangzi, is any more real than the butterfly's life? And then an even deeper realization arose. Perhaps there is no difference. What Zhuangzi discovered in that moment was what Taoists call the transformation of things. Everything in existence is constantly changing, constantly becoming something else. The caterpillar becomes the butterfly dies and becomes soil. The soil nourishes a plant. The plant feeds another creature. Round and round it goes. What we call identity, I am this, you are that, is just a temporary pattern in an endless flow of transformation. The man becomes the butterfly in sleep. The butterfly becomes the man in waking. But on a deeper level, there is no man and no butterfly. There is only the Tao, the cosmic process expressing itself in different forms. Zhuangzi wrote, there must be some distinctions between Zhuangzi and the butterfly. This is called the transformation of things. But here's the profound part. If everything is constantly transforming, if all forms are temporary expressions of the same underlying reality, then what is truly real? The tables and chairs in your room seem solid, but physics tells us they're mostly empty space, made of particles that are themselves waves of probability. Your body seems permanent, but every cell is replaced over time. Your thoughts seem continuous, but they arise and disappear like bubbles in water. What if real is just another word for what I'm experiencing right now? The butterfly was real while it lasted. Zhuangzi is real while he lasts. Your current life is real while it lasts. But none of them are more fundamentally real than the others. They're all dreams in the mind of the Tao. This isn't meant to be depressing or nihilistic. Actually, it's liberating. If life is a dream, then why hold on so tightly? Why be so rigid about who you are and what must happen? Why not float lightly like the butterfly, enjoying each moment for what it is? Zhuangzi's butterfly dream teaches us, don't take your identity too seriously. Don't cling too tightly to your ideas about how things should be. Don't be too certain about what's real and what's illusion. Everything is transformation. Everything is flow. Everything is dream within dream within dream. And the deepest wisdom is to stop resisting this. Stop trying to pin everything down and instead, like the butterfly, simply dance. So how do we live with with this understanding. Zhuangzi would say, stop trying to control everything. Stop insisting that your perspective is the only correct one. Stop believing that your current identity is who you really are. When something changes in your life, when you lose something or become something new, don't fight it so hard. Remember the butterfly. Remember that transformation is natural, that all forms are temporary, that what seems like an ending might be a new beginning. When you're absolutely certain you're right about something, pause. Ask yourself, am I a man certain he's awake, or am I a butterfly dreaming of certainty? When you're suffering because life isn't going according to plan, remember, whose plan? The plan of the self that's constantly transforming? The plan of someone who might be dreaming? Zhuangzi's philosophy is not about believing nothing is real. It's about holding reality lightly. It's about recognizing that our concepts and categories, man, butterfly, awake, asleep, success, failure, self, other, are useful fictions, but fictions nonetheless. The butterfly didn't worry about being a good butterfly. It didn't have a 5-year plan. It didn't compare itself to other butterflies or stress about its purpose. It simply was what it was, fully and completely in that moment. And when it transformed into Zhuangzi, or did Zhuangzi transform into it, there was no tragedy, no loss, just transformation, just the eternal dance of the Tao. This is the secret. Whatever you are right now, in this job, this body, this life situation, you are like the butterfly, temporary, transforming, part of a larger pattern you cannot fully see. So why not enjoy the flight while it lasts? Why not drink the nectar while it's sweet? Why not accept that you're part dream, part reality, and that the distinction doesn't matter as much as you thought? As you drift towards sleep now, you're about to do what Zhuangzi did in his garden. You're about to leave this identity, your name, your concerns, your problems, your plans. You're about to transform into something else. Maybe you'll become a butterfly, maybe something even stranger. And when you wake tomorrow, you'll transform back. Or will you? How do you know you're not a butterfly dreaming of waking up? Zhuangzi's final words on the subject were simple. Between Zhuangzi and the butterfly, there must be some distinction. This is what is meant by the transformation of things. There is a distinction, but only while the dream lasts, and then transformation, and then another dream, and on, forever. So rest easy tonight. You're not losing yourself in sleep. You're transforming. You're not escaping reality. You're entering another layer of it. And tomorrow, when you wake, maybe hold your identity a little lighter. Maybe remember that you, like Zhuangzi, like the butterfly, are a temporary pattern in an eternal dance. Maybe you'll realize that the question, am I dreaming, is not a question to be answered, but a koan to live with. A reminder that mystery is okay, that not knowing is okay, that transformation is not the enemy, It's the way. Sweet dreams, dear butterfly. Or should I say, sweet waking, dear human. In the end, it doesn't matter